Good evening and welcome to the Channel Studios here in London with your international news around the world in 5. Russian officials say they have completed an operation to move civilians out of the southern city of Kherson ahead of an expected battle with Ukrainian forces. At least 70,000 civilians are said to have crossed the Dnipro River in what Ukraine has called forced deportations. Ukraine's southern Kherson region was one of 4 areas of Ukraine annexed by Vladimir Putin last month, despite Russia not having total control of any of them. Kherson city was captured shortly after Russia's invasion last February, but in recent weeks Ukrainian forces have steadily recaptured territory on the west. The world's richest man, Elon Musk, has completed his $44 billion takeover of Twitter. Mr. Musk tweeted, "The bird is freed," and later said, "Let the good times roll." A number of top executives, including the boss, Parag Agrawal, have reportedly been fired. The completion of the deal brings to an end months of legal wrangling, but it has prompted questions over the platform's future direction. The New York Stock Exchange said on Friday that trading in Twitter's shares had been suspended, giving the reason as merger effective. Meanwhile, the European Commission said Twitter will have to abide by EU rules. Responding to Mr. Musk's tweet, the EU Internal Market Commissioner, Thierry Breton, tweeted, "In Europe, the bird will fly by our EU rules." It's after rumours that Mr. Musk, who describes himself as a free speech absolutist, plans to see the company have fewer limits on content.
What Thierry Breton was doing, quite rightly so, was simply reminding what is the framework that any company operating in Europe has to comply with.
The millionaire businessman Sam Matekane has been sworn in as Lesothos Prime Minister. He took the oath of office in front of thousands of people and presidents from southern Africa in the capital Maseru. The 64-year-old is a well-regarded businessman in Lesotho, but a novice to politics. His 6-month-old political party won the recent elections with a huge margin, but fell short of a majority. An approaching tropical storm has flooded several villages in the southern Philippines, killing at least 31 people. A video showed rescue operations in the town of Datu Odin Sinsuat early on Friday. The Interior Minister of the Bangsamoro Autonomous Region in the southern island of Mindanao said floods and landslides have affected several municipalities, while search and rescue operations were ongoing for the trapped residents. Tropical storm Nalgae, with gusts of up to 90 kilometers per hour, is approaching the central Philippines and may make possible landfall on Friday night. Britain's opposition Labour Party leader has accused Rishi Sunak of a failure of leadership in deciding not to attend the COP27 conference due to take place in Egypt next month.
The Prime Minister should be going to COP. He needs to show leadership. This is a hugely important issue, climate change. It's wound together with the energy crisis, and I think many people would be expecting the Prime Minister of the UK not just to attend COP, but to use it as an opportunity to pull world leaders together to deal with climate and to deal with energy. And if that doesn't happen, it's a failure of leadership.
However, the new Prime Minister has defended his decision not to attend, saying the UK's leadership on climate is unmatched across the world.
If you look at what we've done in this country, we're an example for others to follow at the pace in which we've reduced climate emissions, how we're going about protecting our environment, and those things are really important to me. It's important to me that as Prime Minister we leave behind an environment that is better for our children and grandchildren. I'm very passionate about that. I'm very personally committed to it, and I just think at the moment it's right that I'm also focusing on the depressing domestic challenges we have with the economy. And I think that's what people watching would reasonably expect me to be doing as well.
And finally, Rihanna has released her first solo single in 6 years, a song taken from the soundtrack of the forthcoming Black Panther sequel. Lift Me Up was released on Friday after the singer teased her return to music on social media earlier this week.
Lift me up.
The song will appear in Marvel's Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, which is set to be released in November. And that's your international news around the world in 5. Now back to the Channel Studios in Lagos.